Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So according to the former Bayern Munich president, he has said that Thiago Alcantara was close to signing a 4-year contract with Bayern Munich. But he changed his mind at the last minute, and he's also said that Thiago has an agreement with Manchester United and Liverpool. And it does mention we have agreed terms with the player. The former president has also accused Manchester United and Liverpool of blackmailing over potentially signing Thiago Alcantara. Now, yesterday you had Richard Marrow from Twitter saying that Thiago to Manchester United is closer than ever. He says that the agent fees and the fee structure was very close, but it said that the personal terms need to be resolved. Now, Jamie Carragher's also come out and given his verdict on this, and he says that Liverpool are trying to sell 3 or 4 players to fund a move for Thiago Alcantara. You know, Liverpool have been emerged as the favourites for a while to sign him. He recently said that Liverpool had agreed personal terms with the player. Bayern Munich's asking price is around £27 million. For a while, Liverpool have been reluctant to meet what Bayern Munich are demanding because Thiago is available on a 3 next year, because that's when his current contract does expire. But I think, in general, Thiago prefers a move to Liverpool over Manchester United. Now, Thiago's obviously endured 7 seasons with Bayern Munich. He scored 31 goals in 235 games in all competitions. He's won a total of 16 major honours. And Bayern Munich paid €25 million for him from Barcelona back in 2013. He is the age of 29. He's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, but he can also be deployed as a holding midfielder, and he can also be deployed as an attacking midfielder. He said the other week that Solskjaer had held talks with Thiago in person over a possible move to Man United, because obviously we're looking to hijack Liverpool's move for the player. There were rumours saying that, Barcelona, were interested in him. Don't forget, he is a former Barcelona player, but it mentioned that Barcelona had internal disagreements over getting Thiago. But recently, he denied asking Bayern Munich to leave because he recently spoken about his future, and he refused to comment on the transfer to Man United and Liverpool the other week. But he still said he could end up staying at Bayern Munich. There's actually no explanation at all why he'd want to leave Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich are so dominant. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, let's delve into a bit more news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So, Manchester United will only sign Jadon Sancho if Borussia Dortmund reduce their asking price. Now, Borussia Dortmund's valuation is around £108 million. Like I've said, throughout the course of this transfer saga regarding Sancho, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has been the stumbling block. Like I said, if we was willing to meet what Dortmund were demanding, then Sancho would be our most expensive signing, and he would be the most expensive English player in history. Now, I think Sancho is an exceptional player, but I don't think he's worth what Dortmund are demanding. I think he's worth from between 70 to 80 million pounds. Now, Fabrizio Romano, like I said, he was a very reliable Italian journalist. He said that the personal terms, the agent fees, and a contract worth 250 grand a week has been agreed. Obviously, that would make Sancho the third highest paid player at Manchester United behind De Gea and Paul Pogba. Don't forget, Sancho recently come out and said that he's sometimes late for Borussia Dortmund training because of his sleeping disorders. Now, Mike Phelan recently said that Manchester United could be closing in on a deal for Sancho because he's recently been following Sancho on Instagram. Now, I've outlined the reasons why I want Manchester United to sign Sancho is because he will exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's also got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford, and he is predominantly a right winger. Now, Solskjaer's obviously infuriated over the Jadon Sancho deal, and he's obviously told Ed Woodward to go and sign the player. Now, we know that Sancho will be our next number 7 if he comes in. We have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. I think Sancho has enjoyed 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City. He's still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Now, a few weeks ago, I actually fully disregarded Sancho coming to Manchester United because obviously Dortmund were saying that they were very convinced that he will remain loyal to them at least for another season. He had said we had abandoned our chase for the player until the summer of 2021. And don't forget, last month, Dortmund said we had until the 10th of August. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho went out on pre-season. But we're not giving up on the signing of the player unless he publicly says that he wants to remain at Borussia Dortmund. Now, we said we are confident that Sancho will be ready for the Crystal Palace match next week. So if we're to sign him before Crystal Palace, he'll be making his debut for the club against Palace. Sancho's also held several talks with Solskjaer and reportedly has told Solskjaer that he wants to play for the football club. But, like I said, Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have let quite a few big names go in recent years. Don't forget they let Aubameyang go, they let Christian Pulisic go, they let Ilkay Gundogan go, they let Mkhitaryan go, Shinji Kagawa, Lewandowski, Ousmane Dembele, Matt Hummels. So they are known for it. But we know that we have been looking at alternatives to Sancho. And it recently said we could drop our interest because of Borussia Dortmund's demands. We've recently been looking at Gareth Bale. He's now a backup option. Gareth Bale's obviously a much cheaper solution than Sancho. Reportedly, to get Gareth Bale on a permanent deal now, you'd get him for around £22 million. I think we've inquired about possibly getting him on loan, but we have been in for Bale for several years. I think we've been in for him since the David Moyes era. I think recently Bale held talks with Zinedine Zidane regarding his future at Real Madrid. Zinedine Zidane's obviously said before that Gareth Bale is no longer part of his plans at Real Madrid. And Bale has been training away from the rest of the Real Madrid first team squad, so that's fueled speculation up. At one point, Gareth Bale was very, very close to joining the Chinese Super League because obviously he got offered £1 million a week, but it didn't happen. An unnamed Premier League side had put an £89 million bid in for him. By the way, Real Madrid said if they can offload him, they will pay half of his wages. Bale's wages are substantial. I think they're like £600,000 a week. But yeah, Bale's enjoyed 7 seasons with Real Madrid, won a total of 13 major honours. Real Madrid did pay around £85 million in from Tottenham back in 2013. But obviously Real Madrid are not going to recoup what they paid for him from Tottenham because he's now 31. My element of concern as well about Bale is that he is injury prone. But the good news is that he's well proven in the Premier League because don't forget he did endure 6 years with Tottenham. And obviously before he was at Tottenham he was at Southampton. That's where he began his career. He actually started out as a left back. Now obviously Bale now plays on the left wing and he can also play on the right wing. So his versatility is very good. Obviously as well, we've been looking at Douglas Costa from Juventus. He'll be a cheaper solution than Sancho. And we've also been looking at João Felix from Atletico Madrid. And we've obviously been looking at other alternatives as well before these new alternatives updated. We've looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke, Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona, Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. But yeah. So that's some more news on Sancho. Now, I just want to give you some news on Thiago Dalot. Now, Thiago Dalot is frustrated with his game time at Manchester United, and he has told Solskjaer that he wants to leave the football club. But Solskjaer is refusing to let Dalot leave at this present time. Now, last season, it was the first part of last season, Dalot had back-to-back injuries, so obviously that kept him out of action. I think he only made like one start in the Premier League last season. Was it 11 appearances in all competitions? We did get Thiago Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window. We paid £19 million in from Porto, and Dalot has got a contract with us until 2023. But he is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Now, obviously, Barcelona have been in for him before. PSG have been in for him in recent weeks. But if we had to sell him, we'd obviously want to get more than the £19 million that were paid for him from Porto. Everton went in for him a month or so ago. You know, they were convinced that they could get him for around £10 million. You know, so that is the latest news on him. You already know the news on Sergio Reguilon. I give you the news on him on my previous video. Sergio Reguilon has reportedly rejected Manchester United, and his preference is a move to Sevilla over Manchester United. Now, don't forget, Reguilon was on loan with Sevilla last season, where he played like 38 games in all competitions. He also had a few other loan spells with the Logrones. Fabrizio Romano did recently reveal that Sergio Reguilon wants to join Manchester United in this summer transfer window. But we're not willing to meet Real Madrid's asking price. I think Real Madrid have said that they want around €30 million. That equates to around 27 or just over 27 million in pounds sterling. Maybe there's no way that Reguilon can go back to Sevilla, because I heard that Sevilla are now in talks to sign Marcus Acuna from Sporting Lisbon. But it said recently we've not yet made a decision on Reguilon. And it said that Real Madrid had offered Sergio Reguilon to Manchester United. But it would, like I said, it would be very beneficial if we could get a left-back in. You know, we've got two predominant left-backs in the team at the moment, and that's obviously Luke Shaw, who's our first-choice left-back. My element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury-prone. And obviously, you know, Brandon Williams, he's our backup left-back as well. Obviously, Alex Telles from Porto, he's been another left-back on our agenda. But Solskjaer has recently revealed that he's being frustrated with the club's board. Main explanation is over the lack of transfer business in this summer transfer window. Because we've only made one signing so far in this summer transfer window, and that was obviously Donny van de Beek. You know, we got Donny van de Beek in a deal worth £40 million. And we pay just over £34 million up front, and there was like 4.4 million in add-ons. You know, Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year contract with Manchester United. That keeps him at the club until 2025, and there's also an option of a further year. We know Donny van de Beek's wearing a number 34 shirt. I know what he'll bring to Manchester United. Obviously, he'll bring goals, and he'll complement Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba fantastically well in our midfield. He did make his debut recently for the club against Aston Villa yesterday in that pre-season match. We did lose the game by 1-0. But, you know, Solskjaer has said he wants to make 3 more signings after Donny van de Beek. Because you can see what Solskjaer's trying to do. You know, he's trying to change the culture of the club. He's obviously trying to bring the right calibre players in, you know, to get us back, you know, to where we want to be. And he wants us up there, you know, challenging for the title and that. But I feel as though Solskjaer's not getting backed enough. And I think Solskjaer deserves more backing as Manchester United manager, you know, of our upturning form, because at the first part of last season we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. At that point it was looking very, very imminent that Solskjaer was going to be sacked as Manchester United manager, and you know there was obviously talks of Pochettino and Massimiliano Allegri coming in to replace him at that time. But since then, you know, we have really, really rejuvenated ourselves. You know, we are unbeaten in the league since January. But Solskjaer is progressing as Manchester United manager, and he's even publicly come out and admitted that Manchester United have got to spend money in this summer transfer window if we are to compete with the likes of City and Liverpool. And, you know, Woodward has said quite a few times that, you know, he's willing to back Solskjaer, and the Glazers have said, you know, they're willing to back Solskjaer. You know, our recruitment policy has been poor for several years. It really, really hasn't. The blame stems from Woodward and the Glazers. Obviously, the managers that we've had since Ferguson, quite frankly, haven't been backed enough. A lot of the players that we have brought in the last 7 years haven't been the right calibre players for Manchester United. You know, obviously under Moyes, we brought Fellaini in. Shouldn't have brought him in. Obviously, we brought Mata in as well. We made the right decision by bringing Mata in because I think he's had a good career at the football club. You know, Mata's enjoyed 6 years with Man United. Obviously, we got him from Chelsea back in 2014 for just under £40 million. Obviously, under Louis van Gaal era, you know, we brought a lot of players in. You know, Schneiderlin in. Shouldn't have brought him in. Sebastian Schweinsteiger, don't think we should have brought him in. Falcao, obviously, was a flop as well. Di Maria, maybe he's one of the players we should have possibly kept. You know, we brought Blindin, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera. He's another player we should have kept. Obviously, we brought Romero in under Louis van Gaal. We brought Victor Valdez in. Memphis Depay. Obviously, he never got his chances at Man United. And obviously, you know, under the Jose Mourinho era, we recommended 11 players in to the football club. So we've recruited a good 30-odd players in since Alex Ferguson's retirement. But yeah, this summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager. You know, so far at the football club, he has spent over £200 million. Last summer brought Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, he brought Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, he brought Odion Igalo on loan. And we recently brought Donny van der Beek in. So he's made 5 permanent signings and obviously got Igalo on loan. He's also brought a few academy players into the club as well. So it's good that we're bringing more young players in. And, you know, there's a lot of good young players that are coming through at Manchester United. But yeah, but like I've said to you know, this season is the big test for Solskjaer because obviously, you know, this season is going to be his second full season at the football club. And it's very imperative that we do have a strong start to this season. Obviously, we've got Palace this week, first game. Then obviously after Palace, it's Brighton. You know, they're 2 games we should win. But within our first 7, we've got Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea. They're all going to be tough games. And Everton, that's also going to be a pretty tough game. But we'll see. But we definitely need to see improvements this season at Manchester United. You know, there's definitely still certain players that I've got to improve. I think there's aspects of our game that I've got to improve. And Solskjaer's got to improve his decision making. I think we need to score more goals as well. We need to try and keep more clean sheets. You know, that's another thing we've got to do. But don't get me wrong, I have seen improvements since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended into the club. I think definitely our recruitment's improved under him. You know, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. You know, we've seen players like Sanchez leave, Romelu Lukaku, Angel Gomez. Don't forget, we've just loaned a few young players out. A few weeks ago, we loaned Heath Chan out to Werder Bremen. We also loaned Dylan Levitt out. I heard that James Garner's set to go out on loan, but I said we'd loan some young players out so they can get regular first-team football. I think we loaned Joe Pereira out for another season. We obviously got rid of Herrera. We let Fellaini go in January 2019. You know, Darmian left last summer. Valencia and Ashley Young, of course, left the football club. I think the way Solskjaer's promoted the youth as well, he's done well with that. Solskjaer has been at Manchester United for 21 months now, is it? You know, he has been at the football club over a year and a half. So these definitely positives to take from his tenure. But it is a transition period at Manchester United, and it has been a transition period for a while. Like I said, if we can make another 2 signings in this summer transfer window, I think, our expectations this season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. It'd be nice to win a title under Solskjaer, because if we did that, it'd be our first title under him and our 21st title overall, because as it stands at the moment, we have won 20 titles. So we are the most successful team in Premier League history, but we know we haven't won the Premier League since 2013, so we haven't won it for 7 years. But I think we're at least a couple of years off winning the title. I said for us to win the title this season, we need to make at least 5 signings. Obviously, that's not going to happen. Obviously, we need to keep the players that we need at the football club. And there's a lot of players that Manchester United will keep. Obviously, we need to sell players in this summer transfer window, which I think Manchester United are going to do. Obviously, we're looking to get rid of the likes of Jesse Lingard. We're looking to get rid of Andres Pereira. I heard that Smalling's close to leaving. We need to offload Rojo. We need to offload Phil Jones. We also need to offload Diego Dalot. Sergio Romero is open to leaving the football club. Sergio Romero will want to leave the football club because he won't want to stay at a club where he's third choice goalkeeper, because don't forget, Dean Henderson has just recently returned. So these are the things we've got to do, and I'm hopeful that Manchester United can win some silverware this season, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, and we haven't won a major honour for is it over 3 years now, and that's the first time that's happened in just over 30 years. But like I said, If we was to have a bad start to this season, then Solskjaer obviously would be under pressure, and then possibility chance that he could end up getting the sack. But like I've said, Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We have sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was obviously David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. We haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. Solskjaer could possibly get his contract extended if he is to do well with us this season. As it stands at the moment, I think he's just got under 2 years left on his current contract. Against Palace, I think we'll go with our best 11, because we should have a fully fit squad. I think a lot this season, Solskjaer will go with that 4-2-3-1 formation, because he went a lot with that formation last season, didn't he? Don't forget. But he's learned quite a lot of things at the football club as Solskjaer. He's got he's got that managerial experience He's got that managerial experience behind him a bit more now. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Solskjaer, though, hasn't got a fantastic pedigree behind him. But like I said, it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. Because Ferguson endured 20-odd years at the club and won a total of 38 major honours. But don't forget, didn't settle in straight away, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. Like I said to you, Solskjaer still got a goalkeeping decision to make. I think we need to put Dean Henderson as number 1 this season, but I think there's a lot of Manchester United fans that are convinced De Gea will remain number 1. De Gea's been our number 1 goalkeeper for several years. We've already made our decision on Harry Maguire. He will remain Manchester United captain this season. This season's going to be Harry Maguire's 2nd season at the football club. Last season was his 1st season at the club. Obviously, we've got Harry Maguire in a deal worth £80 million. 2nd most expensive signing at the club and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Paul Pogba is a doubt for the Crystal Palace game. Solskjaer confirmed this, but he recently returned to training, Paul Pogba, because he's just recovered from coronavirus. I think we need to get Paul Pogba a new long-term contract at the football club, to end the uncertainty over his future, because he has had a long-running transfer saga and that. But like I said, last season was Solskjaer's first full season at the club, and don't forget, he got us qualification for the Champions League. We also finished 3rd, and we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. So Solskjaer didn't do bad in his first full season at the club. But don't forget, Solskjaer is inheriting a lot of deadwood. You know, he's inheriting a lot of players even from the Jose Mourinho era. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, one player here from the Moyes era, and there's still a few players here from the Ferguson era. You know, so let's just put that into the equation. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.